Hello, let's have a look at the Drawing Gum masking pen. I have to admit this is my favorite thing to have in my watercolor toolkit at the moment, but I didn't really like it when I first started because it was a little bit hard to use. So I'm going to troubleshoot some of the things that you might find tricky about this pen in this lesson. So first of all, this is the Pebeo Drawing Gum pen, and the reason it's so cool is because you don't have to use a paintbrush, you can just use the tip. The tip is plastic, you get a spare one in the lid, just to show it to you. Let's see if I can zoom in on that a little bit. It's got this little kind of plastic tip down the bottom here, and then it's got a writing tip here. And if you have better eyesight than me, or even if you just run your fingernail across it, it actually has lots of little ribs, rib lines to direct the fluid down onto the paper. Okay, so you'll get a spare one of those in there. It's plastic and it's super durable. Now, I haven't used mine for about a week, and I have not cleaned it, so you'll be able to see there it's quite gummy and it's quite gummed up. So what I like to do is pull off some of that gum, and the way I do that, I don't clean this after I used it. I just let it gum up because it creates a little gum stop for it. This is wet masking fluid on this side, but over here it's all gummy and it's not going to flow properly. So I just use my pointer fingers like that, and I just kind of pull that off, and I can just kind of twist my fingers around the whole gum, and you can kind of feel it coming off, kind of like if you ever did, you know, covered your fingers in PVA glue when you were younger, and you can kind of feel that stickiness on your fingers, and you can kind of just pull it off that way. I don't really get any water involved in it because it's not water soluble. So just cleaning it like that, you can kind of see any little extra bits that are happening, and just pulling any of the extra bits off. That's going to clear it up. And then all I do is put it back into the end. Clear up that little bit of gum. And trust me, this is more thorough than I usually am because I'm making this for you. When it's just me, I'm not super thorough. Okay, now that tip is back in. You can see I can't push it in any further. And what I'm going to do is put the lid back on and shake it. And you'll hear inside there's something that obviously shakes all of the gum around, kind of like you get in nail polish, so that it doesn't stick. And then the other great thing about this is that you can force some of the masking fluid out by pressing. Now, if I use this every day, I don't shake it for very long. But because I haven't used it for about a week, I just shake it for a little extra time. I'm not going to speed this up because, you know, I want to do it in real time for you so you can see really how to use it. Okay. I shake it with the lid on because sometimes when you shake it, some of the masking fluid can come out. But if you don't shake it with the lid on and you end up just doing it like this, you can sometimes get splatter on your paper. Here is a little bit of soft watercolor paper I have. It's a soft, smooth side, even though it's still cold pressed. And this is textural watercolor. This is Bockingford, and this is just Canson. I'm just going to use the back of a soft watercolor piece of paper to press down to show you how you can kind of press down this nib here. So when I press down, I can press the black part of the pen to the paper, and you'll see there a tiny little dot has come out. and you can see around the rim of the marker that it's got some masking fluid waiting to come out there. So I don't really want to keep pressing that down because we just want it to flow nicely. We're checking it on soft watercolor paper because it won't run into any hills or mountains. So I'm just checking here that it's coming out nice and softly. And then I can move on to my cold pressed watercolor paper so that I can make my design on it. But what you find sometimes when you are using it on your cold pressed paper, you find sometimes that it doesn't run as smoothly as perhaps you want it to, because it's getting caught in all of the mountains, and it's feeling like it's not coming out as thick as you would want. This is never going to come out thick because it's a very fine tip. But you start to kind of maybe feel that it could come out a bit smoother. That's when you come back to your soft paper, and you can always do a press and then check it again, and it starts coming out nice and smooth, and then you can go back to your cold pressed paper. So sometimes I have to kind of come in and just after it's been on the cold pressed, these are both cold pressed, but one of them is smoother. After it's been on the cold pressed kind of rough texture for a while, it just doesn't run as smoothly. You sometimes find a similar thing when you're using a marker on your cold pressed paper. You know that running a marker on your cold pressed paper or just a black pen on your cold pressed paper, it's not as smooth because it runs into all of the mountains on the paper. That is the biggest kind of thing. See here, it started to happen just over here. When I'm trying to come out and put this now on the paper, it's a little bit not as smooth as I'd like it. So I just come back here, and if I check the rim, I can press it down again, and then I can check it to make sure it's coming out nicely. This is a little bit thick, so if there's like a thicker area that you want to kind of put something on, you can use it that way as well. But just come in. The pressure I'm using for the marker is a light pressure. Pressing harder is not going to bring the masking fluid out any kinder. But that's pretty much it. I will say a few mistakes that I made when I started with the masking fluid pen is that I thought that I had to wash it every time I used it, and so at the end of using it I would take the nib out and I would take it to the sink, and I'd get some soap and some warm water and I'd wash the nib. And actually this is my second nib. I've used the spare nib on the lid, and I have not looked after it at all. I haven't fussed with it. I just put the lid back on after I've used it, and then I just, come take the lid off like I showed you at the beginning, and haven't fussed with it at all, and it has been working really, really well. So I think that the first time that I used the nib, it wasn't coming out and it wasn't flowing as much as I wanted it to. And I think that was because I did fuss with it a little bit too much. But then also I'm thinking that maybe the masking fluid pen sat on the shelf for a while. Maybe it needed to be shook for a little bit longer when I first started using it. The other thing I will say is that I store the masking fluid pen flat on my table. I don't stand it up. I just leave it laying flat. I don't 100% know if that helps. When I was traveling and using the masking fluid pen, I did just leave it in my bag, just in a pencil case, and genuinely hasn't really impacted it. But I guess it, you know, it wasn't necessarily always standing up. So I do make sure that I kind of just leave it like that when I'm looking after it. But I'm not 100% sure if that makes any difference. Whatever ends up happening for your masking fluid pen, if you're stuck with it and you've tried taking the little nib out, running your fingers along it, you've tried a little soft practice piece just to check that it's flowing properly. If you've done those kinds of checks, do make sure you reach out to me via email. I might be able to kind of troubleshoot it with you as well. I use this at the start of so many paintings. You can see here that I used it in the texture for our lemurs, and in so many other paintings. I just reach for it all the time now, and it's become really valuable to protect those whites, those really fine whites on the paper. So I do really recommend it. I hope you have a little play around with it, and I'll see you guys in your next lesson.